Hi guys, I hope you're having a good day. I know that I'm streaming on Wednesday instead of Tuesday, and I'm streaming on Wednesday instead of Tuesday because yesterday was election day here in Israel, and it's very different from the US because they actually took the whole day off. No one worked. So Doe was home with me. We went and had a nice lunch together. So I'm catching up with you today. But I actually did a deep dive on what I'm going to talk about today. I want to talk about your website if you're a bookkeeper. Now, this is something I hadn't realized that I hadn't done a live about this in a while. Like I've been so focused on helping you with social media, but I also help you guys with websites. So recently in my free group, I have the link to that in the description if you're curious to join. Um, we've been talking about bringing in a website designer to help with what they're struggling with on their websites. I didn't realize how many people kept saying, I need help with content, I need help with content, I need help with content. And I was going to point them back to something on my content, and I was like, oh, I haven't done something in a while. So this is in response to the people in my free group. This is so you have a better idea of what to put on your website, just kind of this is more or less like in a checklist form. That way you have a place to begin. I know a lot of you guys feel overwhelmed, don't know where to start, what to include, what to not include. I'm going to break it down for you. I'm also trying to put together a blog for you guys. Uh, it's half done. I wanted to have it done before the live, but either way, I wanted to be here as soon as possible and get you the information you needed. Okay, so bookkeeping website. All right, so I want to lay out real quick. Websites are different than social media. Different types of content, of course, have different types of purposes. You do not need a website in order to get clients. You really don't. As long as you have like a good social media presence, that's a really good place to start to getting clients. So if you don't have clients yet and you're unsure about whether or not you should have a website yet, don't worry about it. Um, a website is kind of like a big business card. It's just kind of showing that you're legit, showing that you know what you're talking about, and that you cared enough to put together a website. But you don't have to do that right in the beginning. So if you're real fresh, have no clients, don't worry about a website right now. You want to be in the place where you're going to be interacting with clients, where you're going to be meeting new people, and uh, filling up your sales pipeline. Your website doesn't do that. Your website gives authority, shows that you're legit, puts something other than at Gmail at the end of your email, stuff like that. But it's not necessary when you're just brand new. However, if you have gotten a couple clients and you feel like this is the direction you need to go, all right, let's jump in. First off, this live is going to be about multi-page websites. Now, there's a design trend towards single page. I'm going to talk about multi-page. They're different animals. Single page websites have their place and are good. They do their best when you're not trying to sell a lot and you're trying to point them towards one action. That's when they excel, that's where they thrive. And for some people, they can do that. It is a little bit easier to have more breathing room and to have multiple pages. And if you guys know what SEO is, multiple page websites give you more SEO power in the end. Anyways, I'm going to talk about multi page websites today. These are the kind of websites that I write for my clients all the time. And what this does is the phrase I like that I came across, you're going to avoid the danger of stuffing 10 pounds of stuff into a 5 pound bag, right? And also, just so you know, I'm focusing on content. Content's my thing, not so much on design. I will give you some design basics, but for the most part, this is about what to write and where and what to include in your written content. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to break it down into the three main pages: home page, service page, and about me page. I'm going to give you three things to make sure you include on each one, and then I'm going to give you like the miscellaneous, five extra things on top of that to round us out to 14, um, as far as what to make sure you have included in your website in general. So I'm going to start with each page, go through it that way. I've got tools that I'll be talking about, links I'll be referring to. All of that's in the description for the video. There will be a blog for this later on my website once I get that done. Anyways, let's jump in. Okay, let's start with the homepage. The homepage is basically the front door, and you want people to understand fast and clearly what you want, what you're trying to communicate. There's basically a 3 second, some people call it a 3 second rule, some people call it the grunt rule. Basically, they need to know exactly what problem you're solving, for who, and what the benefit is in 3 seconds. And if they don't know that very clearly right away, you're probably going to lose them and they won't keep going into your site. They won't keep learning about you. They're not going to schedule a call. So I actually spend a lot of time and lose a lot of sleep when I'm trying to write the very top of someone's homepage because that's what people see first. There are three things that I always make sure I include content wise: a header, a subheader, and a call to action button. You need to tell them what to do next, what the call to action button is, and you want all of the stuff right at the very beginning, right at the top. The header is basically talking, and in your header and subheader, you basically just need to say, this is the service I provide, this is who I provide it for, and this is the benefit it gives. So maybe you are an e-commerce bookkeeper focusing on artistic businesses, helping them to, you know, get more time, see more profits, and spend less time dealing with PayPal automations or something like that. Something that makes them know that you understand exactly where they're at. Do you see how specific that is? It doesn't have to be super fancy. It really doesn't. You're just trying to make sure that you're communicating clearly what you do, who you do it for. You're confirming to them, oh, this is the right place. This is where I want to be. That's what you're trying to do right away in a header, subheader, and a button. The button is basically, I want you to think about the most important next thing. If you could tell them to do anything next on your website, what do you want them to do? Do you want them to book a call with you today? Do you want them to send you an email, sign up for your email list, download your free lead magnet? What do you want them to do next? Put that in a button, clearly set apart at the top of your page. Make it super easy for them to get in the door. So that's the first thing on your homepage: a good header, a good introduction. Number two on your homepage, the goal of your homepage is to get them to click to page 2. You don't want them coming to your homepage and then leaving. You are trying to get them deeper into your world, deeper into your services. One way to do that is through empathy. After I go through the header, I immediately jump into, I understand where you are. I I'm also an entrepreneur, and that's why I like to help entrepreneurs. Um, I know that you're short on time, and you illustrate that. You empathize with them. It's just like, I know that you have difficulties in your life because of this bookkeeping problem, and this is how I can help you. This is who I am. A lot of times I treat the homepage basically as like almost like preview sections. So you want to write like a short paragraph about, like, a little bit about yourself, like, these are the kind of people I love helping, and here's why. Include a button at that point. Learn more about me here, or click here to learn more about me. And then there you go, page 2, they jump to your About Me page. Same with your services. I help, e-commerce based, artistic businesses. This is how I typically do it. You can click here to learn more about the help I give to e-commerce businesses. Include the button, there you go. They're deeper into your world. You want them connected with you. You want them in there. You're always just trying to pull them in. So make it very easy. Think of it kind of as like a train station. You don't want them to be confused on where the next place is. Show them exactly where they can go. If you want to learn more about this, go here. You want to learn more about this, go here. Make it very clear. Think about it like like an airport. It's like a stupid proof. They have like all of the signs everywhere. Make your website stupid proof. Think of it as an airport. You want them to get to the flight. And another thing to include good pictures of happy people. Now I have a link in the description. A lot of people know about this website called Unsplash. The link is there. Go check it out. Tons of great high quality pictures that you can download for free. We respond to human faces. We even take our cues from the direction of the eyeballs on the website. Um, it's important to do that. And there's a psychological part of it. If you guys haven't heard of Donald Miller, he has a good book called Building a Story Brand. I actually have one of his links in the description as well. Images of smiling, happy people represent an emotional destination we'd like to head toward. It closes a story loop. You're telling a story on your website, and you want people to see the happy people in those pictures and be like, that's where I'll be once I work with this person. It sounds kind of goofy, but on your homepage, include good pictures of happy people, because it's showing them this is what people are like who use this service, who work with me specifically. So those are the three things on your homepage. Good header, get them to click to page 2, get them further in, and include good pictures of happy people. So that's 3. Now we're moving to the About Me page. Okay, I get hired for like full websites, but I also get hired next most often for the About Me pages. writing about yourself really is the hardest thing to do. I'm going to give you a quick checklist um, as far as to make sure you include these parts. Um, Again, this is about the whole site. I could go on for a while about the About Me page. Your About Me page is the second most visited page on your site. People want to know who you are. Unfortunately, it's also the place where people are most likely to leave your site, and that's not what you want. You want to tell your story in a way that helps keep them where you are. Um, Something very important to keep in mind, your About Me page is not about you. So I'm going to get into that here in a second about how to treat that. You're not trying to talk about yourself, you're trying to explain who you are and what you're capable of and how it solves their problems. So let's talk about the About Me page. Um, okay, so number one, on your About Me page, make sure that you have a picture of you or your team. Human faces increase trust. Um, I've got a quote here that I pulled. Let me see if I can make it smaller. Okay. The web is a mediated and impersonal place. It's not necessary to ever meet someone in person before sharing information. Yet we prefer to know the people we interact with because that makes it much more personal and in some way also more real. Showing who you are allows your visitors to get a better idea of who you are as a person and whether you can be trusted. Um, there's all sorts of research about this. I just did some research recently about the importance of using your picture like in your profile and not like something else. OkCupid did this whole survey about like picture. 90% of the impact comes from the picture and it comes fast. So if you use a pleasant picture of yourself, it will go so far into supporting the text that you're putting down. They want to know who they're working with. And I know some people feel anxious or don't feel comfortable with selfies or things like that. Um, I would say look into it. It's worth taking the time to get a good picture of yourself. And I promise that you can do it with a normal camera. I take pictures all the time. I use the timer app. I use filters and all of that stuff. But make sure you include a picture of yourself and or your team. It makes a big difference. So one, another thing for your About Me page. Um, um, I told you that you don't want it to be too what you're doing is you're not writing a resume here. So this is number two. You're not writing a resume. You need to write this like a letter to a single client. So it's very important. You're not writing your bio. You're not writing your LinkedIn profile. You need to write it like a letter to a single client. So it's in first person. It's informal. Um, it doesn't have to be unprofessional, but just a little informal. You want it to be warm, but you don't want to come across as stiff. And the easiest way to do that, write with contractions, write it like a letter to a single client and not a resume. You're not writing a resume here. That's not what this page is. This is you helping them get to know you and trust you so that they'll want to work with you. You want to tell them this is who I am and why you want me specifically to solve this problem for you. That's what this is. It's not about you. It's a strategic page about them. So again, write it like a letter, not like a resume. Number three, um, I want you to include authority on this page. And by authority, I mean I want you to list your education, your certification, your degrees, your experience, the places you've worked. If you have badges from Gusto, I want you to throw them on here. If you have certifications from QuickBooks, I want that icon on that page. But here's the thing, you are not the hero of this page. And that authority that you're showing that you can do this, you are just kind of including it as a backup singer. You're not, don't be the diva. That's the backup singer. That's just showing that you know what you're doing. So kind of put it closer to the end of the page so that they can see it, but still, this is not about you. This is not your resume. This is not a bio. This is this has a different purpose, but make sure to include it. You do have this personal appeal in there, but you can't make it about you and about your skills. They don't care about your background until you have them earlier on in the letter, until you've empathized with them, until you've let them know this is about you, not me, and this is why I'd be really good at helping you at it. It's about them. So, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So include authority. Make sure that you include that stuff, but not as the overwhelming thing. So the three things for About Me, a picture of you and your team, write it like a letter, and include authority as a backup singer, not a diva. Okay, so moving on to the services page. This one trips up my clients a lot. I had a website client that really struggled getting this back around to me, um, and that's normal. It's really hard to explain what you do, especially when you're like, my coach explained it to me, when you're inside the bottle. It's just like, how can you read the label on the outside when you're on the inside of the bottle, right? Um, so sometimes it's hard to explain what you do. So let me kind of like help break this down for you. Um, because it's like, do I put prices? Do I not put prices? Blah, blah, blah. Here we go. 3 things to make sure on your services page. Number 1, use an empathizing intro. Here's a good thing. Once you have that, like, once you've established that empathy on your homepage, on your About Me page, you can take it and kind of remix it on your services page. You're just trying to make sure that if this is the only page they see, they feel understood and prioritized on every page. So just take a couple of short paragraphs and talk about, like, I know that you're struggling to understand how to make better strategies in your business. This is why I have this service package. I know that you're a brand new entrepreneur and you just are running out of time to do this. This is how I can help you this way. Again, it's putting the emphasis on, this is how I make your life better. Here are the details for it, but this is how I make your life better. Okay? So take a minute, always take a minute to empathize with them at the beginning of the service page. Don't just jump into the list. Let them know, this is how I make your life better. Number 2, be specific on who you're helping. Okay, so a lot of times I'll write packages out for my clients, right? So it's like, bronze, silver, and gold, let's say. Now, that's great. We like having levels. We like making it easy choices. Who fits a bronze package? Who fits a silver? Who fits a gold? I wrote a website for Janet, and we actually did a really great job putting together what she was going to include at her different levels of pricing. So, like in the bronze package, we were able to determine, okay, this is for a freelancer, solopreneur with less than 100 transactions, let's say, and two bank accounts or something like that. And then we moved it up. Okay, this is for a small business owner who has X number of transactions and maybe an employee. And then, so you make it very clear to help them understand. And you want to make sure you're not just putting X transactions. This doesn't make sense to them. You really want to try and put that empathy into how you're explaining who it's good for. So make the descriptions human. This is for a small business that's at this level and wants to achieve X. That's even a better thing to add. Do you want to, are you just trying to get more time? Do you need help with taxes? Things of that nature. Explain who your packages are for. Be specific. Let them know. So be specific on who you're helping. Now, let me get to prices real quick. This is one of the biggest hangups that people have. I am not saying, here's a hard thing. There is no one right way to do pricing. And especially if you don't feel good about it, it's not going to work well for you. So if you don't feel good about it, you may have to spend some time refining it. Here's the model I usually use and that most of my clients feel best at. If you're not sure how to handle pricing, here's a starting point. Do 3 packages. It's a good for pricing psychology. They usually choose the middle package. Do 3 packages at different levels. Include about 6 different items in each one. It doesn't have to be completely exhaustive. Just put 6 different bullet points of how many transactions, how many phone calls a month, things of that nature. And then for those packages, put prices starting at. This will give you some flexibility. I know a lot of bookkeepers, especially younger ones, want to be very flexible. They're like, well, what if I want to really personalize it for them? And you can, but you don't have to be locked into a price. I know that's something that people struggle with. Put prices starting at. That way, if you need to modify things and they want to add something else, you can, and it's not just married to that price, but it gives you a good starting point, right? And then once you have those packages, to give yourself more flexibility, you can add like an a la carte list. So this is something else I did for Janet. We had the 3 packages. We actually compared what was in one package versus the other. It looks really clear and great. And then below, we just had a bullet point list, and it's just like, if you want to add a la carte services, here's a list of what we offer with an asterisk saying, additional charges may apply. And this, um, and it really helped make things very clear as far as what they would get in each package without overwhelming them. And if something was missing from there, they could pull it out from the list. That way it was clear without overwhelming them. So 3 packages, use starting at price language, and include a list of additional services if you want to make sure that you include a bunch of things that they might possibly want. It's a really good way to do it. Here's a bonus tip for you if you're still unsure how to do your service pages. I have a link in this video talking about where I have a list of like 90 plus bookkeeper websites, social media. Go to their websites, see how other bookkeepers have structured their pricing models. Go and learn. What do you like? What don't you like? What service? Oh, they put this in there. I want to put that in there. Oh, I don't want to put this in there. It is the best way to figure out what you like and don't like for your own website, is going to the other websites. Okay, so that's what I encourage you to do if you're not sure about the services page. Again, 3 packages, starting at price, and a list of additional services for an additional charge. It's a really easy way to get that started, right? Okay, so that's 3 pages, home, services, and about. And I'm going to give you 5 things that just are basically website wide to make sure that you include, okay? Number 1, your menu bar. So like the menu of links at the top of your website. I actually had to deal with this recently. You want your menu bar, home, about, services, 7 items or less. Have drop down menus, I don't care, but the main menu up top, 7 items or less. There's a couple of reasons for this. 1, Google doesn't like when you have a million menu options at the top bar. 7 or less. Google gets confused. It's bad for SEO if that's something that matters to you. Not only that, people can only handle 7 options or less. If we have more than that, we're overwhelmed, we shut down, we leave. We don't want to stay on a website that confuses us and has too many options. 7 or less. And I had to do this recently. My own website had too many, and I had to decide what to prioritize. And that's the thing. Make sure that you're prioritizing where you want them to be. Don't do more than 7 items for across the top of the page. I know some of you have client portal and things like that. Find ways to nest. Just don't make it confusing. Keep it to 7 items, like home, about, services, reviews, contact, client portal. You see, you can do it. But please do it. It'll make things so much better for you. Number 2, CTA buttons. This is call to action buttons. Basically, call today, sign up for the newsletter, learn more here. I want you to put one of those on every single page of your website. You always make it clear. Again, your website, think of it as an airport. Stupid proof how to get to the next flight. So you were telling them, here's the flight, and you got the little orange cones going on. Put one at the top of every page, giving them a next place to go. You want them continuing to come into your world. Use a different color. So, oh God, what's a contrasting color for? I'm completely losing color theory. Anyway, so say you have an all yellow website or something. That's a contrasting color. Okay, so your website's all yellow. You don't want to put a yellow button in a yellow website. It won't jump out. No one will see it. Put a purple button. Contrasting color. It'll jump off the page. Big letters. You want it to grab their attention. So make sure that it stands out. And when you word it, give it some urgency. For example, schedule a call today. Schedule a call now. Make it a verb. Things of that nature. Make it urgent. What do you want them to do next? Tell them what to do. Don't make them guess, because if you make them guess, they won't stay and they won't do it. So, 3rd thing, testimonials. Talk about this all the time because it matters. Testimonial on every page of your website. Honestly, truly, you want them overwhelmed by how much people talk you up, right? And also, guess what? We're in the line of online shopping, and what do you do when you online shop? You check the reviews, and guess what? I think it's 88% of people, they trust an online review as much as a recommendation from a friend. So this is what your testimonials are. They're your online reviews that get people to help you buy. You can say you're awesome all day long. It doesn't hold as much weight as someone else saying you're awesome. Not only that, one well-placed testimonial on a sales page especially It can bump your success rate to 10%. They matter. They matter. So make sure you put one on every page if you can. If you have just one super long testimonial, maybe kind of chop it into two different ones so it's worded a little bit differently. Get creative with it. Use it. And the way to get the most mileage out of a testimonial, use the person's face as long as they're okay with it. Use their face, use their name, use their company name. That's the way to make it as authentic as possible, to make it feel as powerful as possible. So, testimonials, every page if you can. Number 4, this is a formatting thing. Skimmable format. So, this is what I'm going to tell you to do because I see this a lot on bookkeeper websites. Whatever paragraphs you have on there, if it's more than 3 sentences, chop it in half. Keep the paragraph small. Use a lot of subheaders, and use bullet points. Use bullet points. We don't read content anymore, we skim. So make it skimmable with headers, subheaders, and bullet points. No big paragraphs. It scares them off, it doesn't look welcoming. You want them to stay here, and that's a way to help them stay on your page, is to make it skimmable. And include pictures and icons. I do this on my website too. I've got links for both of that in there. For pictures, Unsplash is a good one. For icons, I really like flaticon.com. That's a good one too. I use their stuff on my site. It's a big variety of things. So that's 4. Make sure what you're writing is skimmable, broken out, short paragraphs. 5. Offer clear next step connection points. You don't want them just staying on your website. You want them going from your website to another part of your content. So include your social media links in your header and your footer. Show them where you can sign up for your email newsletter. Include that in your footer. If you have a blog, how can they subscribe to it? How can they email you? How can they schedule a call with you? Make it very easy for them to connect with you in a different way where you can keep interacting with them. Make it very clear on every point of the website, every page, the header, the footer. This is how you stay in contact with me. This is how you get more value from me. This is how I help you even more. Keep them in your world. So make sure that you're trying to do that on every part of your website. So that's the tips. I actually have a bonus tip for you. Use copywriting formulas for the content. Now I have a link for that too in the description of this video. You don't have to write strategically from scratch. Something that saves me a bunch of effort is using copywriting formulas. Now it's not as good as the fill in the blank word templates that I give you for the social media membership, but it helps a lot. Some popular ones are ADA, BAB, PAS, and it basically tells you how to run through the strategy of how to structure your content. The link shows some examples as well that are nice and short, very clear. ADA is an important one. It's a classic. My favorite is the BAB. It's before after bridge, and that's actually a really good one for the website that I like to use a lot. So before, you're painting what their life is like before having a bookkeeper, before having their bookkeeping taken care of, when it's chaotic and stressful and out of date and things of that nature. They have to do it themselves, and then you show them what's like afterwards. Well, after you have a bookkeeper, this is what your life looks like, how much time you'll have, how much less stress you'll have, how much better things will be. And then you put yourself as the bridge. Here's the before, here's the after, and I'm the one who can help get you here. If you want to get here, I can help get you there. That's a really good way to do it. Anyways, you can find other copywriting formulas. You can find millions of them, but that link that I have here in the description of the video will get you a long way. Yep, I've already mentioned all of the links. So again, just to sum up, if you're struggling with your website, again, it's one of the services I offer. If you need help with it, just let me know, reach out. I do have the free Facebook group. Where am I in my notes? Okay, here we go. And then just to run through real quick again, for the home page, a good header, get them to click to page 2, include good pictures of happy people. For your about page, you want to have a picture of you and your team. You want to write it like a letter, not a resume, and you want to include your authority, your experience, your credentials, but as a backup singer, not a diva. Your services page, empathizing intro, make sure they know that you understand where they're at. Be specific on who you're helping. Don't make them guess which package is for who. Make sure that you explain in a human term, this helps this kind of freelancer, this helps this kind of shop owner, this help, you know what I'm saying. Number 3, When it comes to pricing, if you're not sure, 3 packages, price is starting at with an a la carte list below. If you're not sure, it's a great place to go. And then 5 things to make sure that you include just site-wise. Your menu bar, 7 items or less. Kill it down to 7. Include CTA buttons everywhere in bright different colors from your normal color scheme so they pop. 3, testimonials, every page. Include images, stuff like that. Include their profile picture, their business name, blah, blah. Skimmable format, short paragraphs, bullet points, subheaders, headers. Make it easy to skim and use pictures and icons to break it up as well. And number 5, offer clear next step connection points, social media, icons, email newsletter sign up, blog post stuff. Get them into your circle. So if you're writing your website, I hope that helps. If you have any questions, drop them here. That's totally fine. Or also just send me a message. Just let me know how I can help. Anyways, that is what I have for you today. Hope you have a wonderful Wednesday. And I will talk to you guys next week, okay? Bye.